The microphone to tell you about the existence of God either. Now the evidence of God suggests that He exists. I used to live on the streets. I was homeless, I was drug dependent, I was alcohol dependent, and I couldn't find a way out. You hear me? I couldn't find a way out. I went to doctors, I went to psychiatrists, I went everywhere to try and find a solution to this problem that I had. Now I was drinking probably a litre of vodka a day. I was probably on a few grams of ketamine a day. I was on a crack pipe I couldn't stop. I was smoking cigarettes like everyone else does as well. I could not find a way out, and one day I got so frustrated I just wanted to die. So I thought that sounds like a good idea. So I took enough alcohol and enough drugs to probably put out a rhino. And I was walking through the streets of Bristol, and my body started shutting down. My vision started to go grey, and I started to get scared. And I said to God, I said, if you're real, then you're going to have to make yourself real to me, because I don't believe in all this hocus pocus rubbish. That was my attitude, and right then I said to God, if you're real, then I'm willing. Sometimes it just takes a willingness to believe in God. You see, God can only operate where faith is, and God says if you have faith of a mustard seed. Have you ever seen the size of a mustard seed? It's tiny. God says if you have that much faith, then He could do wondrous things. He can move mountains, and a willingness to believe is enough faith for God to operate. People say, oh, I don't believe in God. Well, that's the problem. If you have a bit of willingness and a bit of faith there, then He can do something in your life. And that's what I done right there. I had a bit of willingness because I was without hope. I was hopeless and I was dying, but I wanted to live. And I said, God, if I'm willing, if you give me another chance, I'm willing. And right then the desire of alcohol left me, the desire of drugs left me, the desire of cigarettes left me. I was sober, I was restored. The time the paramedics came, they thought I was pulling their leg because they couldn't find a single trace of alcohol or drugs on me. So yeah, I can't preach to you and tell you that God does exist or doesn't exist, but I can only show you the evidence, which is this today. I was on the streets, I was stinking of urine, I was covered in fleas, I could not stop, but God gave me hope, and God gave me a chance and delivered me from the bondage of alcohol. Now, you could be dependent on anything: shopping, self-harm, depression, things that doctors and man cannot give you. All they want to do is give you more drugs, more opiates, more things to suppress that. God says, I come to give you life, and life in abundance, and God does that. He says, I can create in you a new spirit. I will make you a new creation in Christ Jesus. All things will pass away and all things will become new. I am a new creation today. The whole way I think, the whole morals, my concepts are completely different now. I cannot prove to you that God doesn't exist, but I can show you the evidence that may suggest that He does, and that's me stood here telling you that I am free from alcohol dependency, that I am no longer depressed, that I've not got my hand out trying to get a pound for a bag of gear. I haven't got my hand out trying to get my next line of ketamine. I haven't got picking up dog ends from the floor to try and get a nicotine hit. And I'll go as far to say I could probably do without a coffee. So come on, man. If you find yourself without hope, if you find yourself lost, depraved, and you're missing something, then why not give God a go? Why not give Him a chance? Why not? We've tried everything else. Do you know what? Sometimes all it takes is, I'm willing. And with that willingness, with that faith, God can come in and He can do a marvelous thing. He can move your mountain that's in your path. What mountains are in front of you today? It said, have you ever thought growing up that you're different from other people? I mean, like you're missing something, like there's something wrong here. What is it? Well, that's because you are different from everyone else. That's because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That's because God created you in your mother's womb. That's because He knows His hand on you and put creativity in your heart. That is all from God. That love that you have, that is from God. Fear that you have, that is from God also. All things come from God. What is it you're looking for today? What is it you need today? Because God says, I will fulfill all of your needs according to His riches and glory in Christ Jesus. All you have to do is take that step and say, okay, I'll give it a go. But we're too busy with all of this. We're too busy saying, nah, I don't believe. And because we say and confess with our mouth and believe in our heart that we don't believe, we don't see. But God says if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, you will see. You know, the evidence of God, the evidence to suggest God is real is me standing here, because I should be dead. I should be dead. That's the truth, but I'm not. Christ came to give me life, and he has given it to me, and he has given it to me in abundance. If you're hopeless and you need hope, then it's here. How many times have you sat down and said, God, please, I need help. God, can't you just please help me? Well, hello, open your ears. Open your ears, he's here, and he wants to help you. Open your ears. Be sat in that jealousy and say, God, if you could just give me one more chance to get me off with the judges, and suddenly you got off with the judges, and now you're walking past like you can't hear him, and he's like, hello, do you remember that promise? I'm here. You know, how long is it going to take before it's too late? You know, God says every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. So get it now, you know, get it now before you can't get it, you know. So yeah, I'm not going to preach to you that God does not exist, but I can only show you the evidence to suggest that he is. Amen.